What's up, guys? Here we are live Monday morning, actually Monday afternoon, right? Monday afternoon in Marietta at our studio with. And
thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Just a little bit of the story that I know. I know we've known each other for a few years, but just see each other at networkers and things like that. But just a little bit that she was sharing with me before we went on. I am really pumped for the value. And the connection she's going to be able to make with so many people out there because she's in the majority, not the minority. Your story is overall is the majority, not the minority. Didn't start out as an entrepreneur, but found a way and that leap of faith and all that kind of thing, and jump off the cliff and build a plane on the way down.
I jumped.
That a girl, that a girl. And as always, we have Marion on the line, so when we get a break, we will talk to everyone, acknowledge everyone. But in the meantime, I am really excited to myself to hear this story and be able to pull those golden nuggets out. This becomes my oxygen, so I'm pumped. Fenella, introduce yourself and let everyone know, where you started, where you're at today, and where you see yourself going. And I know as soon as they hear you speak, they're going to know you're not from Jersey.
That's right. Definitely not from Jersey.
Not from where?
Not from Jersey.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, so my name is Fenella Stevens, and I run my own insurance agency. I'm your health insurance expert. I've been in the industry for about 27 years, and I've been licensed for 20. And I've always been on the corporate side. Always, from the day I walked into my first job interview at age 18 until December 2012, when I decided to quit the corporate world, took a leap of faith, and went out on my own.
So we're going to definitely get into that. But obviously, you're from the UK.
Yes, I am.
Right. So you're from the UK, and you grew up in the UK.
Not really. I grew up in Europe.
Okay.
So in Italy, Germany, Belgium. I was born in Cyprus. So
Okay.
I've been around Europe.
I know you said you were an Army brat, right?
I'm an Army brat.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that? How was your childhood? What would you consider your childhood?
Well, we would move every 3 years, but my childhood consisted of me at age 9 living in Italy, in Naples, and flying to Belgium to go to school. So I was in boarding school from the age of 9 for 9 months every year.
What do you mean?
Until I was 18. Yep. I went from Italy.
Daily?
No.
Oh.
For the semester or the term.
Oh, so
it was a boarding school.
Bro, so you live in Belgium.
Yep, boarding
then
school.
Then you come home.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was different.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, you really became your own person because you were only dependent on yourself.
Man, that's such an unbelievable foundation. Not only that, but being exposed to so much, that worldly, that's a huge advantage. Now, maybe at the time it didn't seem like it, but
I was sick a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that's. And how many languages do you speak?
Well, it was a French school, so I did speak French, and
what about
I was
Italian?
Completely immersed. I was fluent in Italian as a child, but I've lost that completely.
Completely?
Completely, yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing.
But you couldn't even get around?
I could probably get around to Italy.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's very similar to French.
Okay.
So I could probably get around.
So you speak fluent French and you speak fluent English? And
Well, I hope I speak fluent English.
Well, you're from the UK, so you speak better English than all of us. So
well, I don't
let's
quite
keep it real.
speak the Queen's English.
Right.
I
Me
have
either.
a dialect. But yeah.
I'm not even close to the Queen's English.
Yeah.
So that foundation, what would you say? How did it help you, and how did it feel like it hindered you?
Well, it helped me because I became very independent, and I always knew what I wanted, and I always went for it.
So you've always had that DNA?
Yes, from a very early age, I always knew I'd be in the United States, and I made it happen in my mid-20s.
What made you want to come here?
I don't know. It was inside me to always, be here.
Okay.
And I came here 30 years ago.
Just something by yourself?
By myself.
By yourself?
All by my lonesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
But there was something pulling you.
Something pulling
now,
me.
Now, before that,
Destiny, maybe.
well, before that though, did you spend any time here?
I had come here for a 3-week vacation,
Okay.
and I really enjoyed it.
In
And I
Southern
came back,
California?
Yes, and I came back a couple of years
Listen,
later
if you were going to
say-
pick a place, I mean,
I know.
you're no dummy.
No.
So that you picked a place. I mean,
Yeah.
so you just got that bug,
I just got the
and
bug.
you just said, you know what, I'm
Coming
going to
over.
do this. You
Right.
made that decision,
Yeah.
and you kept moving forward.
Yes.
What were you doing work-wise when you were?
So
in
while I
Europe?
was getting my green card, I was actually a nanny.
Hmm.
I was a nanny to the chairman of Southern California Edison, to
Okay.
his schoolgirls,
Okay.
and I would do pretty much everything.
How old were you when you came here?
I was 26.
What did you do for work in the UK?
I was an executive secretary.
Really?
I could type in 3 languages: Italian,
Wow.
French, and
That's
English.
a lot of hats,
And,
girl.
and I type very, very quickly as well.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you're building a major foundation for whatever it is you want to do.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
never thought I would
Mhm.
hit this industry that I'm in. It was just by chance.
It just the
Just
timing
happened.
and
Mhm.
you know how it goes, everything.
Yeah,
So you come over, you're a nanny. How long were you a nanny?
about 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was a lot of fun actually. I mean,
Really?
I love children, so that really helped. And
But
the
to go
girls,
from like the corporate,
Mhm.
you know, secretary, right, with a
Mhm.
lot of pressure, a lot of
Yep.
things,
legal secretary as well.
to
yeah.
a nanny. That's,
I know.
I mean, but that was it a hard transition?
No, not at all. It
Okay.
was very easy. Again, I loved the children that I worked
Okay.
for or took care of.
Okay.
So it was very easy.
And one of the things I want to point out here is again, it's, you know, it's always the same recipe, different ingredients, but realize, like, see, your mindset is everything, and just talking to you, right, feeling your energy, I love it because it's, look, this is what needs to be done, this is what we're going to do, and then we're going to move forward. And one of the things that I think that immigrants have advantage over most that are born here, especially in the last 2 generations, right? I'm not going to go back. I'm going to tie this back. Well, I'll tie it back in. Is they have what I call the dynamic duo, the combination that's unbeatable: the hunger and the gratitude.
Yes.
And when you have that hunger and being grateful for where you are, right, and
Yes.
grateful for where you're going,
Yes.
how do you ever? You can't stop that.
Yeah.
And
It never
immigrants,
goes away.
right? Immigrants have that,
Mhm.
right? And I believe, like, back like World War II days, they, even if they were born here, they still had that because they were so close to the immigrant mentality that going through the Depression, they had that combination of being grateful,
Yeah.
right, proud,
Yeah.
and hunger.
Yeah. Well, I come from some good stock too.
Okay, all right.
You know,
All right.
my grandparents, they were married for 70 years. They lived in the heart of London. They were in that bombing. You know,
Yeah,
their
yeah.
home was bombed, and you know, you can't.
You know what? We have a lot in common in a way,
Oh.
and I'll tell you why. I
Okay.
was adopted as an infant, but my parents that adopted me were in their middle to late 40s. So my dad is going to be 92 in January. My mom is going to be 91 in January, and he was in World War II. And that is like,
I tell you,
it was this: lace up your boots and
Yep.
get to work.
Get-
Stop it.
do it.
Stop
Just do
it.
it.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And you know,
No
grow-
excuses.
and when I was growing up little, you always heard, "I'll give you something to cry about. You want to
That's
cry?
right.
I'll give you something to cry about."
Well, I didn't hear that because I was gone.
Right. But you still had that mentality. You
Yes.
still had that, and no matter what, that's still what you saw,
Yes.
what you experienced. And I believe that's a huge advantage. You know, that's a huge advantage. Just figure it out, get it done,
Mhm.
and move
And
forward.
stop whining.
Is that part of your,
Yes, don't
DNA?
whine. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
okay? And I know you have kids.
Yes, I have
And
3
is-
boys.
And how important is that to convey as they're growing up?
Well, I think you have to be a role model to your children,
Okay.
because they, especially in today's world,
Mhm.
the young folks really are struggling with what direction do I go,
Mhm.
and you really have to lead the way for them.
Right, and I think, and let me ask you this. I'm sure we're on the same page. I can tell by the energy because just get it done. But you know, you want to lead the way, but you also want to know, create that level of awareness in your kids to know, right? What is maybe this isn't the right direction, even though it's the right direction for the masses. Maybe it's so. How important is that understanding and knowing and connecting with your kids?
You know, I'm a big believer in you make mistakes and you learn from them.
Yes.
That's the
Right.
bottom line.
Yes.
You know, you are going to make mistakes. You have my permission to
Mhm.
fail.
Yes. As long as you
As
learn.
long as you learn and
I
pick up the pieces.
I love that. It's the greatest classroom in this world, right? Because there's not a university in this world that can teach you what real life teaches you.
Yeah.
And so I love that mentality. And look, I don't want to sound like one of those people that, oh, back in the day, but really I think that's lost a lot because I think we just go against nature. To be honest with you, overall the masses, look, they have to be pushed out of the nest to figure out how to fly.
Yes. And
nature shows us that, right?
Absolutely.
That the mom bird can help that baby bird get out of that shell anytime it wants, but it knows instinctively it has to be strong enough to break through that shell or it's not going to make it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, it's easy for me to say if they're not my kids,
Yeah.
right? But at the end of the day, what's right is what really it is black and white.
Yeah.
And that's how you parent? Is that how you look at things?
I am a big believer in tough love as well.
Oh, that a girl.
Big
No.
believer.
Love that.
I won't get into a personal story,
right.
but I have a story that I can share with you off the air.
Sure.
But it was very hard, and it was tough love all the way, and now I get thanked
And
for doing that.
you know what? I'm glad you went there because I want to tie this in. I always talk about this. It's about intention, and I believe that when your intention is pure, you become bulletproof. And I'll use me as an example, right? I am not a politically correct guy, and I'm going to tell you how I feel. And I wear everything on my sleeve when I have sleeves, which is very rare.
I know,
right?
I don't think I've ever seen you with sleeves.
I don't have too many. And that's why when I was little, my mom would never buy me shirts. She goes,
Oh,
you
really?
cut them.
You cut
them. So,
so funny.
but when your intention is pure, you become bulletproof, and I'll tell you why. If I always say, listen, if I use a word or I use a sentence that offends you, but my intention is pure to help, then that's your issue. You need to figure that out, and I'm going to move forward. And that's what tough love is.
Yes.
The intention is pure,
Yes.
right? Now you're putting the ball in their court.
Absolutely.
And they,
where it should be.
right? Exactly. And they have to decide, right? What is this going to do? But it's so hard for people to do that. I know we're not going to get into the story, but right? But why is that? How were you able to make that decision?
Again, because of my upbringing.
Okay.
You know, growing up in Belgium in a convent around nuns. I'm telling you, it's the best. It's the best foundation you can ever possibly find.
That is wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, yeah.
You had no one to stand up for you but yourself.
And you had to own it.
Yes,
everything you had to own.
Take responsibility.
Even if it wasn't yours.
That's right.
And you know what? They're going to turn around and say, life isn't always fair.
That's right.
and that's a great lesson. You know, I did a post a while back and I ruffled some feathers, which I enjoy actually.
I bet you do.
I do. I get a little kick out of it. And I know you do too.
I do.
I can tell by the laugh. And I just put it out there and I'm going to paraphrase it. But at the end of the day, I said, you know, life doesn't give an F about what, doesn't care, really. And honestly, people got offended. Some people got offended by that. A lot of people really connected with it. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, and I tie that in with raising kids, is that's the best gift you can give them because, one of the best gifts anyway, because you're setting them up to be an adult that's going to be able to make it instead of, you know, even though you might care much more about your son than anybody else, right? And the little things, life doesn't. When they become adults, life goes, listen, you're not as cute as your mom said you were, right? And that's just, right? We don't care about your dimples and your blue eyes, right? We don't care about that. What are you going to bring to the table? What is your value, right? And if not, we're running you over. And that's real. That's the real. So I love the way you're going with that. So now you're so you're not a nanny anymore.
No.
Okay. Then what?
So I got my green card and I started to do temp work again, going back to my roots of executive secretary, and I landed at Cigna in Glendale. Okay. And about 5 weeks after doing some temp work there, they asked me to come on full time, and I stayed there for about 3 years doing the same thing. And then I got an opportunity to interview at MetLife, and I interviewed for the same thing. But when I was being interviewed, the interviewee or the manager who was interviewing me said, I think you could do something different.
Now, were you still with the first company?
I was still with Cigna.
So you were
I went to
okay.
interview with the MetLife HMO down in Long Beach, and she just said, I think you could do something different. I think you could manage a book of business.
Okay, so I want to go into this because this is awesome. So when you heard that, what was the first thing? Like, how did you feel?
I said yes.
But what did deep
I
down?
felt very excited. I thought, wow, this could be something different for me to do that I've not done before and could take me out of what I perceive to be a rut as a secretary.
I love it, right? Because, and I believe that nothing happens by mistake. You attract it, good or bad.
Yes.
So you subconsciously, whether you could identify it then or not, we're starting to think like, listen, I hit my peak here,
Yes.
right? I need something else. But you can adapt, but then this person comes into your life because she's taking the action and moving forward, it becomes magical, right? Then she said, set a seed. And I always say life gives you choices, right?
Yes.
You can run or you can run with it. And
I ran
like
with
that.
it. I
like
said
that.
yes. And they hired me.
Because you looked at it as an excitement instead of like, oh my
I didn't,
God.
the fear was there, oh God, can I do this? But I kind of brushed that aside and I just said, no, I'm going to take it. They offered me the job, I'm doing it.
It's really the perfect combination you had. You were scared and excited at the same time, and that's when you know it's big enough.
Yes.
I love that. So now you jump in.
I jump in.
Okay.
And I'm there, and I stayed there for about a year and a half.
Okay.
And then Kaiser started opening up the doors to working with brokers and paying brokers back in '96. And I got my foot in the door for an interview, and I landed a position there. And I ended up staying a little over 17 years with Kaiser.
And becoming you were a broker?
I was a senior account manager.
So
I was managing a very large book of business of employer groups. So doing their renewals, negotiations, and things like that.
Wow, so and it kept your attention because it was always something new, always something that you had to learn.
Always.
And ultimately, we're going to get into this, but really, ultimately, that goes back to you really have had that entrepreneurial DNA. You just were using it in a different way, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't.
Well, I liked that paycheck.
Yeah, right.
It was a good paycheck. I was telling you, I was making six figures.
Yeah. I know.
Hey, you know, people would love to get that kind of money.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. And at the end of the day, you're bringing that value to warrant that. But ultimately, what I love about it really is you're bringing so much more value than you even realize, because that's why you're here now. But before we get into that, Marion, I know a few people jumped on. You want to give us a little list?
Lori.
We just saw her on Friday. Good to see you, Lori. Anybody else?
Mary
Williamson. Terry, yeah, that's we just did a show with her. I did my book tour out in Arizona, and great woman. Three girls, went through her own struggles, finally getting back up on her feet, getting things done, and the next few months are going to be tremendous for her from what she shared with me. Great girl to connect with.
Oh,
she's
Terry, right?
Terry Williamson.
Hi, Terry.
She's real monster mode, this girl.
Monster.
She's coming into Halloween. Anybody else, Marion?
Hi, Cindy.
Yeah, hey Cindy, how are you? Hope your shoulder's feeling better. I heard she had a bum shoulder, so hopefully that's feeling better. Thank you for taking the time for jumping on. Anybody else, Marion? Great guy, Wade.
Hi, Wade.
He's a very, very spiritual guy, and he understands energy, and he understands that what you think about comes about. Wade, thank you so much for jumping on.
And then we have Robbie you both look so great.
Hey, we were just talking about you. I know your ears are ringing. She is now I let her loose on you. So now I'm not the bad guy. So we're gonna get you in the fun seat. We don't even call it the hot seat because it's the fun seat, right?
It's not hot. Well, maybe it is.
A little warm. Anybody else, Marion? Hey, what's up, Big Tim?
Hi, Tim.
Hope everything's going well. And guys, As you know, when we jump off, we're going to reshare this, so Fenella will be able to reconnect with you guys if you have any questions. But we're getting actually into the best part of this story about how she made the transition from a corporate 17 years, right? 17
with
years.
Kaiser.
Right.
Since
So
18
ultimately,
corporate,
what,
though.
20,
Well,
20
30 some years with corporate.
30 years in the corporate world,
Yes.
right, altogether, to starting her own business 3 years ago. That's what this show is all about. That's the moxie we want to show, right? How you do it. But sharing already up to this point, it's so clear. It's just clear, blatantly clear that you have that entrepreneurial DNA. You were just using it in a different way, and that's it. Once you got past that fear of not getting that check signed by somebody else and you signing it, that's, I think, was the greatest fear barrier that you could address. You beat the bully. You beat the bully, and I always call the fear barrier the bully. So now you're 17 years in. Where does this transition start to happen?
So with the Affordable Care Act in 2010,
Okay.
it started impacting employer groups in 2010 to 2011.
Okay.
And so there was a lot of work put on us, long hours, and we're salaried, so, we don't get overtime. We're there for long hours.
You're just a number.
Yeah. And in 2012, it was a perfect storm. I ended a 20-year relationship with my partner, the father of my 3 children. I was going through some hormonal issues as a 50-something woman. And then, of course, all the work that was, being placed upon me. So I decided I took a stress leave.
Wow.
I actually went out on stress for 3 months. And it had a lot to do with the fact that here I have a 7-year-old son and a 14-year-old son at home. Yes. And I was coming home late at 7:30, and I just didn't think it was good for them.
You were missing.
I was missing a lot, and it certainly wasn't good for me either. And so after those 3 months, I went back to Kaiser and handed in my notice.
You made that decision.
I just made the decision, and I did it.
So where were you at in your mind?
I figured, I'd start my business. I'd take a little hiatus for a while and figure it out, but I was going to do something on my own as it related to what was coming with the Affordable Care Act.
Okay.
And also with Medicare, because we had a lot of baby boomers now turning 65. So the opportunities were there for me to go out and educate people on health insurance.
See, and let's really highlight this because it's such great value and awesome gold nuggets. It's from the outside, 30-something years in the corporate world, out on stress leave, going through a separation, divorce, whatever that is, right?
24-year-old
Okay,
now.
but a 7-year-old and a 14-year-old, right?
Yeah.
You have a teenager and then a
little
little guy,
one,
right? A little guy. And you're going through all the other stuff physically, all that stuff that life's throwing at you. You take that 3-month leave. Now, from the outside, it's looking like, how could she ever find the courage to make that decision? And let's just simplify this down, right, to the core so people can get this and relate to this. Your why was big enough.
My why
Your
was
why
big enough.
and became bigger than you.
Yes.
Because it's your kids.
And it's the name of my agency. So, as I mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah.
So share that.
So my why is my children, of course. I wake up every day, and what I do every day is to really provide for them.
Yes.
Because I'm a single
Yes.
mom.
Yes.
And SCR Insurance Agency is essentially SCR stands for Sean, Cole, and Robert. Those are my 3 sons.
And there's no secret to this. It's that
stares
why.
at me every day.
And no matter what happens, you're going to figure it out because of your why.
Yes.
Right? And then I believe, right, when your why is bigger than you, now it branches off. Okay, now you want to be able to provide value to your clients. So that's a branch off why that is still going to pull you through those fear barriers.
Yes.
But the ultimate why, when it becomes bigger than you, and I share my story in my keynote about Tommy. Tommy was the first successful adult in my life at that time, in my early 20s, that said that he believed in me, and he showed me they believed. I walked through fire for Tommy at that time because I couldn't let him down, and that I love that. So you're 3 months off. You go in, you give your resignation, okay, and everyone's floored, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
and I have to leave because it's a sales environment. So
So you made that decision. You're heading to the office for the last time. Where's your mind?
Well, it's funny because that same day.
Yeah.
I'm driving to the office. I got a release from my doctor to go back.
Yeah.
I'm driving to the office and I get pulled over for speeding. So my mind was definitely all over the place.
Right, or let's,
you know,
was it all over?
I think it was all over the place, and I think, you know, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? So on my way to work, I did get pulled over, and actually the same day I got pulled over a second time.
You did? Yeah, you were.
I was just in my zone.
Yeah, and you were in what I call the darkness, right? You're trying to figure that out. You're trying to figure that out, and so many things coming at you, but because her why, that's the only thing pulling you through.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's going to pull you through.
I needed to be there at home, present for my children.
And whatever it took.
Whatever it took.
And I can say this, there's a lot of things I don't know, but here's what I do know. Is that was definitely the dynamic duo. It scared you and excited you at the same time, right? So you put your resignation in, and now what?
Well, I leave.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
and I
But-
had that second ticket, of course, and
Right.
then I just, you know, I had kind of figured out during the first 3 months what it is that I was going to be doing, and I decided just to kind of think about it, write it down. You know, what are my goals? What am I hoping to
And you
achieve?
have a little bit of breathing room financially to be able to do this.
Correct.
Okay.
And what do I need to get there? So
Right.
there's a lot of things as an insurance agent that you have to do in order to sell Medicare,
Sure.
in order to sell Covered California, and so I made that happen.
All that back end stuff. But here's what I love about this, and here's what I gotta highlight, is the word kind of. See, I love that, and I'll tell you why. Because it's such a myth and it's such a trap about the perfect business plan, the perfect model, and the perfect time. It's not real. It doesn't happen. But because her why was big enough, that word kinda was fine. That was okay. Well, I'm gonna kind of figure out what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you do that forever, you know that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there's no perfect plan. And when you put that plan together, and then you're 6 months, a year and a half in, you look back, you're like, I didn't recognize that plan that I originally put together, right? Because you kept moving forward.
Yes.
So now you're getting all your stuff on the back end that you need for your
Yes.
licensing and E&O and all that.
Yeah.
So what's next? What's next?
So what's next is the open enrollment at the end of 2013. That was my big first push as a business, because I had to get my business approved first. By
Break
the
that down
Department of
for people,
Insurance.
your open enrollment.
So open enrollment happens now once a year for Medicare and also Covered California and also off Covered California. So it's a period of time where people can enroll into a plan for the following year.
Oh, okay. So I want to stop here real quick, because see, that's what I mean. This is where the value comes in. When we jump off, or even right now live, bring those questions. Lean on Fenella. That's what she does, right?
Yes.
She's going to be able to answer those questions, move you in the right direction, make sure that you don't get misled. And that's just who she is. So again, make sure you utilize these resources that we're bringing to you, because that's why we do it. And before we keep moving forward, because I know there's some more golden nuggets, Marion, there is. Marion, anybody else jump on?
Brittany Rose Trubluski, what do you attribute to your success in insurance?
Knowledge. Knowledge.
Okay. What was your question?
What do you attribute to your success in health insurance?
Oh, well,
Knowledge.
no, but I'm not even letting her get away with that. She ain't even, are you kidding me? Listen to me. This is her success is about the foundation that she was built on. It's about having the moxie and having the why to pull her through everything we just talked about. The knowledge, listen, anybody can get that knowledge. What you brought to the table is real moxie, and that's the difference. She made a decision, and she acted on it. And she knew there wasn't the perfect plan. That's who you are, and that's what you need to own, because knowledge can come from anywhere.
Yeah.
You can read that book, and guess what? Somebody, and I'm not downplaying anything, but understand where I'm coming from, right? There's going to be times where you don't know that answer, so you look in that book to get that answer. So you just Google, right? That's what we have now. But at the end of the day, it's her character, who she is, and the why that pulled her through, and is still pulling her through.
Absolutely.
All these things, because it's been 3 years, and there's still life is going, guess what's coming next? but that's what we love.
Yeah.
That's our oxygen.
Yeah.
So that's the answer.
Yeah.
That's the real answer. And that's why I'm connecting big time
That's
right
why
now.
you're interviewing me.
And that's why I'm connecting big time right now, because I love that. That's it.
Mhm.
Because you have won at bat, right?
Mhm.
You have won at bat, and we have such a lottery ticket because we became a human,
Mhm.
right? The lottery ticket. Look at the numbers. We became a human, and we're in a country that, listen, you can say whatever you want. I don't care about the politics, but we don't see a lot of people running in any other countries. So this is still another lottery ticket that we have where we're at, and I love the way you look at life, because it's not guaranteed, right? There is no guarantee that tomorrow's coming.
Absolutely not.
For anybody.
Mhm.
So I love the way you look at life. It's refreshing and a complete connection for me. So I love it. We'll knuckle that up, girl. So now, Marion, anybody else?
Yeah, we have,
You bringing the heat,
Chris,
bro.
I'll be sharing the show Mass Power, Massive Value.
Oh, and who was that?
That was Chris Ripka.
Hey, Chris, I'm going to be on his podcast this week. Big Chris, thank you so much for the love. Appreciate that. And yeah, anybody that's getting value from this, please share it. And anybody that's not getting value that is in the business world, you got to wake up, because this is nothing but value right here. Real life, real world wisdom for real life, real world practical steps. And I always say, and don't knowledge is great, but wisdom is where it's at. Wisdom is everything.
And I think I probably misspoke. I think
No, I know,
probably
I know.
wisdom
But-
is where I was going.
Right. And deep down, as soon as I start to share that, you're like, yep, that's
I
me.
love it.
Yep, that's me. Keep it coming. Anybody else, Marion?
Terrence Freeman, he says, massive D, great day, everyone, awesome show, we'll share. We have quite a few here. We have Jasmine Lynn, what to do? And then we have Marina Dunn, love it.
Marina, awesome girl. We were just at the event together down in San Diego. This girl gets it done. She event planner and connects businesses. So Marina's awesome. And Big T from New York. Thank you for the love. Thank you for sharing it. So now we're getting into the real good stuff. Now we're getting into the juicy stuff. So now you're on your own.
I am.
And how are you getting clients? What's that obstacle? What's that fear that you're conquering?
Well, it's all about being unique sometimes. It
Always.
really is.
Always, but never by mistake.
I first got my clients by just, you got to put money out to bring in money. So I started at the mall, setting up tables at the mall, and enrolling people on Covered California.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love
That's
it.
how I
So
got my clients.
just this grassroots guerrilla marketing,
Yep.
getting it done.
Yep.
Again, goes back to if I could explain you in a sentence, I would say we're not going to worry about the how as long as the why is big enough. That's how you live your life, and that's what
I figure it out as I go along.
Exactly. That's the success, and you're taking that action. So when you start to meet those people, understand it's not by mistake. It's because you took that action and you kept going through that that darkness. Let me ask you this: what do you think about this statement? The darkness is only temporary as long as you keep moving forward. The only time it becomes permanent is when you go back into safety. What do you think?
I think it's a good one.
All right,
I've heard it before, though.
Because it's mine.
It's your Did you quote it in the book?
I did. And we're actually going to make some shirts. So because I think so many people, it goes back to fear, right?
Yeah.
So many people
Well, fear is darkness.
Exactly.
Oh,
They're so afraid to go through that darkness, right? And think about the window of darkness you had when you left with all this stress, then you made that decision, then you gave your resignation, then you have to get all your stuff in order.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one darkness after another, but it's life going, here's your boot camp, what are you made of?
Yeah. And also, I'm a big believer in that you don't project paralysis.
Explain it.
So
Never heard of that.
Yeah, it's a saying that I've used a lot. You don't project paralysis because you can literally clam up.
Yes.
When you start thinking
you just
ahead.
freeze. You freeze.
If you think too far ahead, you can really start thinking, oh, really, I can't do it after all, and kind of go back in your shell.
I love it. I love it.
Projecting paralysis.
I love that. And I didn't hear that because it was yours, right? You didn't hear mine because it was mine. So we got to get out there more.
But I've learned from that.
Yeah.
Do not project paralysis.
Do not project paralysis. And here's what I'm gonna obviously 100% agree with her, and just in my own verbiage would be, don't worry about the how as long as the why is big enough. It's the same thing,
It's
right?
the same
Don't
thing.
get ahead of yourself.
Different ways of saying it.
Right,
pretty much.
right. The UK and Jersey.
That's right. I actually learned that here. So.
There you go. Yeah, but it's the UK flavor.
Okay.
It's your accent. So don't get ahead of yourself. Right? Take that next step. Don't worry if you can't see the whole staircase. There's so many ways to put it,
Yes.
but it's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
And I'm a big believer in saying yes and figuring it out after.
Love it.
Just do it. Just
Love
say
it.
yes.
See, that's it. She jumps off the cliff and builds a plane on the way down.
Absolutely.
That a girl. That a girl. So you're getting clients. You're starting to build your clientele.
Correct.
And what's the next thing that you do to start to keep marketing and branding?
Sure, and I try everything.
Right.
I mean, you know
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
I mean, I've not done marketing for myself, so I've tried the golf course and this and
Yeah.
that, and it doesn't work. So I decided, with the help of Laura Rhoda, one of my friends, to join Team Referral.
Okay.
And I've been in Team Referral now in my 3rd year, and
Okay.
that's really helped me not only develop business relationships.
Okay.
But also to get me out as well.
What is team referral?
Team Referral is a referring network that business leaders come together and they refer amongst each other. Very awesome, a really awesome thing to do. But also just getting out into mixers and networking, being part of the chamber.
And you're preaching to the choir. Remember with Bully Burgers? It was
I
everywhere.
remember.
It was everywhere.
You got to get out.
You have to get out. And here's the other thing, and I want your feedback on this and your perspective, is I always look at businesses this way. If I'm going to buy a business, an existing business, or I'm going to start my own, and I've done it both ways, is I want to identify my strengths, but I need to enhance my weaknesses so I can run with my strengths. So my strengths, right, are the front guy, the marketing, the branding, all that guerrilla marketing, all the social media. I love that, especially when I have no boundaries on me. I can just run wild, right?
Sure.
But I need the people in the back to keep everything in order so I can just run with it. So how important is that as a business owner, as a leader?
Yeah, well, I do everything myself.
Okay.
And when I do reach out, it's because I can't do it. So like some of the branding, my business cards, some knowledge. I reach out to my industry partners a lot.
So
as
you
well.
use the resources.
Absolutely. Because otherwise I'm an island.
Right, but even though let's be clear, right? Even though you're 3 years in, you're your own business, so you are going to do a lot, right, on your own. But at the same time, she still does it this way because she's reaching out to resources that she didn't have that answer to. Whether they're on your payroll or not, it doesn't matter, right? You're reaching out to your resources to keep expanding, growing, and connecting with and building your network. So again, figuring out how to keep moving forward, how to keep moving in that forward motion.
Yes.
How important is that?
Very important.
Okay.
I mean, if you stay where you're at, you won't grow.
And you're going to disappear.
You're going to disappear.
Yes.
Eventually, you're going, woo.
Yes.
And I got out and went to conferences and things. I went to the Secret Knock a couple of times with Greg S. Reed.
I just had him on the show.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
So, again, surrounding yourself with people who can elevate you to the next level is key in my book.
And it's your environment, right?
Yes.
And I use this example so much, and you're actually here now. Watch this. So if people aren't sold on how important environment is, if I was born in the UK, you were born in Jersey, we'd be speaking completely different.
Yes.
It would be flip-flop.
Yes.
That's how powerful our environment is. You actually speak that, you speak that language.
Yes.
So when I go back to Jersey, it gets even, hey, yo, what? I go right back to that conditioning, right? So your environment is everything when it comes to success. And as you're growing, your environment has to grow with you, or else you become that big fish in a small pond.
Yeah,
Is that
absolutely.
accurate?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You've got to keep adding different, bring in different things about yourself. Just grow as a
And
person.
as a business, and this is a
Oh,
great
as a
lead-in,
business
right?
as
So
well.
now you're 3 years in, and you're saying to yourself, okay, what else can I add, right?
Yes.
For value.
Yes.
And please make no mistake, if anybody wants security, and I do that in air quotes because there is no real security in life, but if you want any type of security, just bring more value. The more value you bring, the more security you're going to have. So now I know you've added some things to your business that's going to add to your customer, to your client,
absolutely.
right? Now it's going to set that relationship even tighter.
I hope so, yes.
Oh, it will.
That's
No question.
That's what I'm going for,
No
right?
question.
Otherwise, why do it? Right?
Exactly. So what did you add?
So I added Legal Shield,
Okay.
ID Shield, because of what's been happening through the hacking. Yahoo was, 3 weeks ago. Last year, it was Anthem Blue Cross, 80 million people having their personal medical information hacked. That was relatable to me in terms of what I do with health insurance.
And very fearful.
And very fearful because it's happening a lot more and more, and people need to protect themselves and their families because one person can ruin the rest of your life by taking your social and getting credit cards.
Right.
So I added it because I can not only sell it to individuals who need it just as much as anyone else, but also to my employer groups that I work with as well, as an employee benefit.
Such a great win-win. And here's the other thing, and I know this only because we spoke before the show.
Yeah.
Here's where the real credibility comes in with this lady that I love, and I want to promote this, is she was a member of Legal Shield for years before she decided to add this into her business as an extra, as something else, right? So that's real credibility, and I'm sharing that behind the scenes stuff because it means so much, right? It's not, it's just a different animal, and you know where I'm going, right? It's major credibility from the way I look at it and the way most people look at it. So I had to highlight that. So I know you're in the infancy stage of that, but I know you have a lot of great plans.
Yes.
You know, they bring a ton of value. I mean, the bottom line.
Absolutely. They've helped me, you know, having been a member for a couple of years, they've helped me at least 4 times. Legal Shield.
Yeah.
So I know that there's value there. I know that it works.
Yes.
So why not add it as part of my portfolio?
And that's what a business owner does, right? That's how Monster Motivator even came to. You know, we were speaking engagements and corporate speaking, keynotes and workshops. How can I add, right? So I saw these podcasts jump up, and I'm like, man, I said, but the podcast, it's not enough for me. I need this. And then Facebook comes out with live stream. I go, how about that, right? It's better to be lucky than good. I'd rather be lucky than good. So it's, again, as a business owner, you want to add to that. Now, Marion, anybody else jump on? Okay.
She went shout out for Laura Roder.
Okay.
Laura Roder.
Okay. Okay, you know her. Okay. All right. Big shout out. Anybody else?
Well, let's see, there's
Fenella's bring. Who?
Noel Walsh.
Oh, no, yeah, he's a big time sales trainer. If you want to learn how to close the deal, talk to Neil. Neil, thank you so much for jumping on. And again, Neil, you can relate to this story and your clients that you work with. If you get the value, which I know you are, please, guys, share this, and we will share it again. And I know Fenella will share it as well. And there's a lot of things she's going to be able to do with this footage. So, Neil, thank you so much for jumping on, pal. Anybody else, man?
And then we have a Rod Smith Jr.
Okay.
Senior, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
And a Mark Duncan and a Suzanne Hamilton.
Awesome. Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for jumping on, and make sure you reach out to Fenella. Now, Fenella, before we jump off, is there anything that you want to talk about that I didn't mention?
Well, open enrollment, we're in the swing of open enrollment right now for Medicare. And that began on Saturday, October 15th.
Okay.
And baby boomers, they're aging in every day across the US, about 10,000 across the US and 4,000 a month in Riverside County.
Okay.
And they're being bombarded by information. It's
So,
information overload.
Great. So where's the value that you bring for that?
So the value that I bring is, again, the information overload, packets and packets. So I can really
That never
narrow it
gets
down.
read.
I can narrow it down for them and get them on the plan that best suits their needs
Okay.
for the foreseeable future and for the future as well. A lot of my clients have signed on a plan and they stay year over year because we did it right the first time.
Okay. Okay.
You know, I spend 2-3 hours with a senior making sure that they get the right plan the first time.
Wow. And I'm sure not just a senior, anybody that wants to,
So Medicare.
that needs.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So for
Okay.
Medicare, but
Okay.
for open enrollment for Covered California or
Yeah.
off Covered California, that begins November 1st
Okay.
through the end of January.
Okay.
So again, I do a lot of consultations over the phone. I don't charge a fee. So anyone can call me and ask questions.
Wow.
And I'm happy to speak to anyone
Awesome.
and educate. I can't talk specifically about their own plan unless
But you
they
can-
designate me as
Right, but you
agent
can
of record.
answer. You
I can
answer.
answer very broad questions.
Okay.
So,
And again, utilize social media with her, right?
yeah,
You know,
I'm on Facebook, absolutely.
Facebook, email, whatever that is, and before we jump off, you're going to share, how they can get in touch with you.
Sure.
And let's do that now. How can they get in touch with you?
So there's 3 ways, I guess. There's Facebook. They can go on Facebook, SCR Insurance Agency. I have a Facebook page.
Okay.
They can go on my website. Actually, they can do a quote for themselves on my website, www.scrinsuranceagency.com.
So they can actually do a quote,
They can actually
and
do a quote.
then when that quote comes and
And
they
they can
have
enroll.
questions, now they can call you.
They can call me.
Is that when you can get into more specifics?
Absolutely.
Okay, okay.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
And they can call me at 951-219-6463.
Okay.
Or they can, actually there's 4, they can email me at healthinsurance@scrinsuranceagency.com.
Okay, and if you can't find her, I know where to find her, so
Yes,
just reach out
oh
to me.
gosh.
I'll find her for you. Marion, anybody else jump on?
Yeah, that's all we got now.
All right, guys, thank you. And
Thank you.
before we leave, for the people that are trying to figure out how to get to that next level, whether it's their own business, whether it's in the corporate world, whether it's personally, give us a little something for them.
Have faith in yourself.
Okay.
Have faith. Brush that devil off your shoulder.
Okay.
Because there's always that devil sitting saying, you're not going to be able to do this.
The
There's always that
naysayers.
little voice in your head. Don't listen to it.
Okay.
Just do it. If you fail, get up. Do it again.
Learn from it and do it
Learn
again.
from
And
it,
what
do it
about
again.
those naysayers, all the outside noise that's saying, "Are you crazy? Don't do it." If it feels
Yeah.
right in here,
You got to go with your gut.
okay.
Because I was told, you're leaving Christ? What? No. Just go with your gut.
Right. And that's always going to take you down the right path.
Absolutely.
If you have the courage to see it through, it's always, your inner GPS will always lead you in the right path if you have the courage and surround yourself with the right people. And this is one of the right people right here.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you reach out to her. I'll be reaching out to her actually myself. But before we leave, we are going to do the Monster Motivator Roar.
Okay.
All right. You familiar?
I'm not.
Okay,
Do a
this is awesome.
demonstration.
Okay, so there's a method to the madness.
Oh, there it is.
Now I believe that we can only be in one state of mind at a time. So so if you're in victim state, you can't be in gratitude state, right? Vice versa.
And gratitude's big.
Absolutely. Or you can't be in a happy state if you're in a sad state. Whatever that is, right?
Yes.
And I believe that if you could be in an unstoppable state for the majority of your time,
Wow.
right? That's the goal. That's the target. And I also believe that life gives us choices, and it's usually 2. And life is saying to us right now, do you want to live your life purring as a kitten or roaring like a lion? I want to roar like a lion. Not a girl.
I want to look like a kitten. I just want to roar like a lion.
Look like a lioness, girl. Look like a lioness. So the sound is just as important as the pose. I'm going to show you what it is. The Monster Motivator Roar.
Okay, here we go.
Ah!
Okay.
On 3.
Are you ready?
1, 2,